Welcome to the eCommerce Badassery Podcast, the place for scrappy entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran and former brick-and-mortar boutique owner who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the eCommerce Badassery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. If you didn't already know, every month inside the Lounge membership, I release an exclusive digital magazine called The Sip. It includes additional marketing resources, email prompts, campaign ideas, guest articles from biz friends talking about things like wholesale strategy and getting into holiday gift guides, plus tech recommendations and all sorts of bonus content. In the August issue, I shared a quick little business tip, a monthly feature I call the Cocktail of Wisdom, about how to tap into your local community as an online store, even if you don't have an in-person presence. As I was writing it up, I thought I have to share this on the podcast, especially because Q4 is right around the corner and I don't want you to miss out on the local opportunity. As a former brick-and-mortar boutique owner, I spent a lot of time working with my local neighborhood businesses, publications, advertising, and organizations. While I was initially a little shy about making those connections, I was pretty young in hindsight. Everyone was thrilled to partner with me because their goal was to bring together and support the people in our community. And this is not just limited to that single location store owner. When I first started at my previous day job, we had about 13 store locations across the country. And because we were so spread out and our online presence was pretty minimal at the time, we focused much more on local marketing versus national marketing. And that looked exactly like the things we're going to talk about today. If the last few years has taught us anything, it's that people crave community. They want to support real people. They want to know who is behind the business. And that's exactly why these strategies we're going to talk about work so well. First on this list is to host a local pop-up shop or trunk show. If you happen to have a warehouse, studio, or office where you can welcome customers, like you're not working out of your house, obviously you don't want strangers there, you can absolutely open your doors for a day or a weekend to give people an in-person experience without having to schlep all of your shit to a market. Even if you're only inviting your existing customers, giving them the opportunity to meet you in person to see, touch, smell, or taste what you sell can go a really long way toward deepening their relationship with your brand. Remember, people buy from people. Giving someone the chance to shake your hand, ask a question, or simply put a face to the emails they've been getting for the last year creates the kind of connection that's really hard to build through the internet alone. You can even run a bring a friend promotion. It gives your existing customers a reason to spread the word and introduce new people to your business. And if you don't have your own space, look for a local boutique, a coffee shop, a bar, some other small business that might be willing to host you. If your audiences overlap, great. You guys can both help drive traffic, but it doesn't have to be a perfect match. Sometimes you just need a space. Ultimately, every entrepreneur is looking for more eyeballs on their business and more bodies through the door. So you'll probably be surprised how open people are to collaborating. Number 2 is to host a workshop or a class featuring your products. This is great if it makes sense for your unique business. A lot of the same principles apply here. If you have your own space, great. If not, partner with a local business. Search your neighborhood for creative studios, maker spaces, libraries, community centers that already host local events. And think about how people can experience your products, not just shop for them. Maybe that's a custom scent mixing event for a candle brand, a make your own jewelry event where they can pair different pendants with different chains, or a puppy social with a local trainer if you're in the pet space. Include any necessary materials in the price of admission. You can partner with other local businesses to provide drinks or snacks and give attendees a bounce back offer to use on your website after the event. And the workshop, remember, it's not really about making money on the ticket sale. It's creating an experience that introduces people to your brand in a way that they'll remember. Number 3 is to sponsor local events and community fundraisers. When I had my brick-and-mortar boutique, local charities, schools, all sorts of organizations were constantly stopping by asking for donations for fundraisers. We did something called the shopping night out. So the winner of it would get a gift card, and then they could bring 10 of their friends to my store after hours. I would stay open late for them, and then everybody shopping got a discount. So yes, the original winner wasn't really paying for anything because they had that gift card, but all of her friends were. And then I would serve champagne and light bites, which I used to get from other local places at a really great discount. Now, because you might not have that in-person presence, they're probably not going to find you. So you're going to have to be the one to go out and look for them. Pay attention to events and fundraisers happening in your area. Most of them happen annually, so even if you miss this year's deadline for whichever one you want to participate in, there'll probably be a chance for you to get involved next year. You can look at sponsoring the event. Maybe you're going to donate products or gift cards, contribute something to a silent auction. There are a lot of ways to participate, and they can be really great visibility plays. School fundraisers are especially interesting because the parents feel obligated to support the school that's educating their kids. One of my lounge members who does a ton of pop-up markets, she was getting exhausted, so she started looking really intentionally at the markets she was doing and which ones were the most successful. When she looked back at the ones that performed the best, it was almost always the school events. You can also look at getting featured in local media, gift guides, and creator content. That might be a community newspaper, a local magazine, a TV station, a podcast, a blogger, a neighborhood creator. They're always looking for stories that matter to the people in their neighborhood. If you're located in a tourist destination, that opens up even more opportunities. And yes, these local publications often put together holiday gift guides too. If you advertise with them, you're going to be at the top of the list when they're looking for businesses to include, and their advertising rates tend to be much more approachable than a national publication. Plus, working with local media makes you a much bigger fish in a smaller pond. I have an old friend from my styling days in LA who eventually moved back home to Virginia, and almost overnight, she started landing TV segments all the time because there was less competition and local media was always looking for experts to feature. It's a good reminder that you don't need national exposure to get meaningful visibility for your business. So when I opened my boutique, I advertised in several local magazines and got plenty of features in our local newspapers and publications. If you've ever been on a live call with me, you might have noticed the framed newspaper article sitting in the cabinet behind me. The publisher was really sweet. He printed out and framed my cover story when I opened my store. There was also a local blogger who wrote about my boutique. She brought all of her friends in and would run into her at all of the local community events. Without a storefront, you're going to have to be a little bit more proactive, obviously, and be the one reaching out, but the opportunities are definitely there. And don't forget about direct mail. There are a few different ways that you can utilize direct mail in your business. We've talked on the podcast before about sending handwritten thank you notes after a purchase, and there are platforms now that can use robots to write them, so they still look handwritten, but the whole process is automated. One of my lounge members recently used direct mail to re-engage previous customers who hadn't purchased in a while. She timed it with a promotion she was running and saw really great results from that. At my previous day job, we used direct mail all the time, especially for our rewards members because they were our most engaged and profitable customers. But whenever we opened a new store, we use something called Every Door Direct Mail. You can use it as a small business too. You don't even need your own mailing list. You choose a zip code, define the area you want to target, and USPS delivers your mail piece to homes in that neighborhood. I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty of the targeting options and pricing and stuff. I'll stick a link in the show notes if it's something you want to explore. But if you've ever moved and suddenly started getting mail from landscapers, flooring companies, California Closets, and a bunch of other local businesses, that's them using Every Door direct mail. Finally, if you're feeling a little intimidated about some of these bigger ideas and just getting started reaching out to other businesses, start small. Make friends with the employees of the small businesses in your area. You can offer them an exclusive discount. Have a quick conversation with an owner about swapping packaging inserts. Look for simple ways to support each other. And don't forget that one of the biggest supporters of small businesses is other small businesses. So people want to get involved. And even if you don't have a brick and mortar store, you're still a local business. The money that you make and spends ends up back in that local economy. And if you are a customer of these other small businesses, well, then it's a win-win for everyone. At the end of the day, I think we spend so much time trying to reach people on the internet. Not that that's a bad thing. You absolutely have to do that. But we kind of forget that there are actual humans living around us. And if you're looking for something different to try this year, especially before the holiday rush kicks in and you want to get some more visibility on your business, this could be the way, my friend. So get started by just making a list of 5 local businesses you'd love to partner with. Look up your local magazine or weekly newspaper. See what events are happening in your area over the next few months. There are bound to be some sort of fundraising event for the holidays. And you might be surprised at how many opportunities are sitting just a few miles away from you. And like I always say when talking about partnering with people, somebody has to go first. So even if that other small business knows you exist, they might be too shy to reach out. Be the one that gets the conversation started. And that's a wrap on this week's episode. Make sure you check the show notes for links to additional resources about what we've discussed today. You can get that at ecommercebadassery.com/388. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you're having a kick-ass week, and I'll see you on the flip side, friend. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about growing your e-commerce business, get started with my free resource library at ecommercebadassery.com/free stuff and get an invite to the Lounge, my e-commerce marketing membership. When you're ready for one-on-one support, apply to work with me at ecommercebadassery.com/apply. Before you go, would you do me a quick favor? Leave a rating and review and tap that follow button. This pushes me up the chart so I can support more scrappy e-commerce entrepreneurs just like you. I'm on a mission to reach as many as I can, and I could really use your help. Thanks so much in advance. Until next time, e-commerce friend, stay badass.